Imagine a secret so profound it's guarded beyond all reason, a celestial terror silently approaching. Is Earth's ultimate doomsday already written in the stars? Welcome to the Purple Files. Let's get right into it. What is Nibiru? A fleeting whisper in the digital darkness? An ancient legend, too terrifying to be true? Or is it the most profound, most horrifying secret humanity has ever faced, a truth suppressed for generations? Forget the polite theories of distant, undiscovered planets calmly orbiting in the void. We're talking about Planet X, not the astronomers' cautious hypothesis, but the real Planet X, the one they allegedly don't want you to even think about. Is it lurking just beyond our current perception, a cosmic predator, cloaked in shadow, patiently waiting for its moment to strike? They call it Nibiru, but what is it? Descriptions vary, each more chilling than the last. 4 times Earth's size? 10? Some say 20, a true behemoth. Others whisper it's not a planet at all, but a failed star, a brown dwarf, a dark sun radiating an unseen menace, dragging its own deadly entourage of moons or smaller planets. A rogue mini-solar system on a collision course with ours. Can you even imagine the scale of such an entity? A celestial juggernaut, untethered from any known laws, hurtling through the infinite black, its trajectory a razor's edge intersecting our fragile existence. Its ultimate mission? Unknown, perhaps unknowable. Its composition? A subject of fierce debate. Rock? Gas? Exotic matter? Its predicted impact? Total, unimaginable, biblical scale annihilation. Forget the gentle, predictable clockwork orbits you learned about in school. Nibiru, they say, screams through the cosmos on a 3,600-year cycle of destruction. Its path isn't a neat circle. It's a wildly eccentric, dangerously inclined ellipse, a cosmic slingshot that flings it from the outer darkness through the plane of our solar system and directly into the inner sanctum where Earth resides. And guess what? The cosmic clock, according to believers, might be ticking down to its final, terrifying seconds right now. When it arrives, it's not a polite cosmic drive-by, a distant wave. It's a planetary demolition derby, a gravitational wrecking ball, and Earth is directly in its path. A fragile blue marble in the face of cosmic fury. Think of your worst nightmare, the one that leaves you gasping in a cold sweat. Now multiply it by 1,000, by 1,000,000. That's the promise of Nibiru. Megaquakes. Not just 9s or 10s on the Richter scale, but events that literally shatter continents in mere hours, not days. Landmasses sinking beneath boiling seas. New mountain ranges thrusting miles into the sky. Supervolcanoes. The sleeping giants like Yellowstone, Toba, Campi Flegrei erupting in a global, simultaneous chorus of fire and ash, blotting out the sun for years, maybe decades, plunging the world into a new volcanic dark age, triggering global famine. Tsunamis, not mere waves, but mile-high walls of water, scouring coastlines clean of all life, redrawing the maps of our world with salt water and sorrow. And then, the ultimate, unthinkable terror, a physical pole shift. Not the slow, gentle wander of the magnetic poles, but a sudden, violent reorientation of Earth's entire crust, or even the planet itself relative to its axis of rotation. North becomes south, east becomes west, in an instant. Oceans would surge across continents, flash boiling in newly formed equatorial regions, while other lands flash freeze under new instant ice caps. Winds would reach speeds beyond comprehension, stripping flesh from bone, buildings from their foundations, scouring the very surface of the Earth. Some theories even predict vast electromagnetic pulses, frying all electronics, or even a partial stripping of our atmosphere, as Nibiru's magnetosphere clashes with our own. Is this just overblown science fiction, the product of fever imaginations, or is it a suppressed, impending reality, a truth the powers that be are desperate to hide until the very last second? And who, or what, rides this harbinger of doom, this celestial chariot of fire? The Anunnaki, The name itself echoes with ancient power. Were they ancient gods, as our ancestors believed? Extraterrestrial engineers? Architects of worlds? Or the very beings who, according to forbidden texts and hushed whispers among researchers, created us? Did they manipulate our DNA, upgrading primitive hominids to serve their purposes? Are they returning now as saviors from the stars, here to guide a chosen few through the coming cataclysm? Or are they cosmic executioners, landlords of Earth, here to collect a terrible debt we never knew we owed? Nibiru isn't just a rock, a mindless force of nature. For many, it's a judgment, a cosmic reset button, poised over a civilization deemed unworthy. The question for those who believe isn't if it's real. The terrifying, all-consuming question for them is, are any of us, truly prepared for what comes next? What if the most ancient myths are not myths at all, but history and a terrifying prophecy? Where did this terrifying world-ending idea, this spectre of Nibiru, even come from? Did it just materialize out of the ether, a spontaneous byproduct of internet paranoia and millennial angst? Or was it meticulously unearthed, piece by painstaking piece, from secrets buried for millennia, encoded in stone and clay, waiting for a brave, perhaps reckless, few to decipher their chilling message? A journey into the dark heart of the Nibiru mythos starts not in a gleaming modern observatory, but amidst dusty, ancient clay tablets, and with a controversial, enigmatic scholar who dared to read them differently, Zacharias Sitchin. The year 1976. The book that sent shockwaves through alternative history circles, The 12th Planet. Was he a visionary genius, a linguistic savant unlocking humanity's true, deliberately hidden cosmic past? Or was he a master storyteller, a brilliant weaver of fiction from the fragmented threads of ancient myth and legend? Sitchin, armed with his fluency in ancient Semitic languages, stared deep into the cuneiform texts of Sumer, the cradle of civilization, and claimed to see not allegorical gods and symbolic monsters, but aliens. Real, flesh and blood extraterrestrials. A technologically advanced race he identified as the Anunnaki, meaning, he said, those who from heaven to earth came, and they came, he asserted, from a planet he named Nibiru, the planet of the crossing, a celestial body with a vast 3,600-year orbit. He claimed these powerful beings first landed on Earth approximately 450 years ago. Their urgent purpose? Gold. Not for wealth, but for survival. Our Earth's gold, Sitchin theorized, was needed to create a protective shield for their dying world, to repair their rapidly failing atmosphere, and to extract this precious metal from Earth's depths they needed a workforce, an army of miners. So, Sitchin proposed, the Anunnaki took primitive hominids, Homo erectus, and through sophisticated genetic engineering, upgraded them, creating Homo sapiens, creating us. Are we, therefore, their grand experiment? Their purpose-built slave race? Sitchin himself didn't explicitly scream doomsday for our specific time. His primary focus was on rewriting all of human history, linking Nibiru's previous catastrophic passages to events like the biblical Great Flood and the destruction of Atlantis. But the fuse of an apocalyptic idea, the notion of a recurring cosmic destroyer, was undeniably lit. The seed of fear was deeply planted. Then came Nancy Lieder. The year 1995. The internet, still in its relative infancy, begins to awaken as a global force, a new frontier for ideas, both brilliant and bizarre. Her chosen platform? ZetaTalk.com. Her extraordinary, life-altering claim? She was a contactee, chosen, she said, to receive direct telepathic communications from benevolent extraterrestrial beings. The Zetas, as she called them, hailing from the Zeta Reticuli star system, what was their urgent, world-shattering message? Beamed directly into her brain, she asserted, via an implant. Planet X is coming. This massive, unknown object would soon pass through our solar system, triggering a catastrophic pole shift, a literal reorientation of the Earth, leading to global devastation on an unprecedented scale, the end of civilization as we know it. She even gave a specific date, a terrifying deadline for humanity, May 27, 2003. The nascent online world, and a growing number of followers offline, held its collective breath. Or did they? The date came, the date went. The Earth continued to spin on its axis, seemingly undisturbed. No Planet X appeared in the skies, no pole shifted, no apocalypse ensued. But did the story die, discredited and forgotten? Far from it. It morphed, it evolved, it grew stronger, like a virus adapting to its host. Leaders Planet X began to fuse in the digital cauldron of early internet forums, news groups and chat rooms, with Sitchin's more anciently rooted Nibiru. The names became interchangeable, the narratives intertwined. Add a dash of Immanuel Velikovsky's highly controversial 1950 book, Worlds in Collision, which proposed that ancient cosmic car crashes involving Venus and Mars had caused biblical catastrophes and global amnesia, and suddenly you have it, a supermyth, a hybrid monster more potent than its individual parts. Born from reinterpretations of ancient texts, channeled alien whispers, Cold War anxieties about planetary destruction and the web's infinite, amplifying echo chamber. Was it a genuine warning, painstakingly pieced together from disparate, overlooked clues? Or was it the ultimate viral deception, a story perfectly evolved for the anxieties and connectivity of the digital age, a modern folktale of cosmic proportions? So, what's the proof? Where are the undeniable smoking guns for this cosmic destroyer, this Nibiru? Believers will tell you it's everywhere, all around us, hidden in plain sight, if you just know how to look, if you dare to open your eyes and question the official narrative. Are you seeing it? Or are you being subtly conditioned, programmed not to recognize the signs? Photos, videos, thousands upon thousands of them flooding the internet daily. A second sun caught lurking in the glare at sunrise or sunset, a faint twin to our own star. A winged disk, an image straight out of ancient Sumerian prophecy, captured on a shaky cell phone camera by an astonished onlooker, a mysterious, ominous red smudge in the sky where no known planet or star should be, sometimes accompanied by strange halos or companion objects. Scientists, NASA, the professional debunkers, they almost invariably scream lens flare, internal camera reflections, atmospheric refraction, sun dog. It's just Venus or Jupiter seen through atmospheric distortion. But are they always right? Is every single anomalous image so easily dismissed? Could some of these captures be the real deal? Fleeting glimpses of the approaching horror slipping through the cracks of the carefully maintained official narrative? Or is that precisely what they want you to believe is impossible? Then the Earth itself, our own planet, is it just your imagination? Or are things getting weirder, more violent, more unpredictable? Earthquakes rocking unexpected places, with terrifying intensity and increasing frequency, they claim. Volcanoes, silent for centuries, suddenly roaring back to life, spewing ash and fire. Storms, hurricanes, cyclones, typhoons, raging with unprecedented fury, rewriting record books year after year, growing in size and destructive power. Unprecedented floods in one region, biblical droughts in another. Is it all just coincidence? Normal geological cycles playing out? Climate change, as the mainstream media and governments tirelessly tell us? Or is a giant, unseen, gravitational force tugging at our planet's core, stressing its tectonic plates, stirring its molten heart, causing the very ground beneath our feet to become unstable? Every major disaster, for believers, is a new clue. Every tremor, every superstorm, a warning drumbeat getting louder, more insistent. Compasses going haywire, spinning erratically, no longer pointing to true north. GPS systems glitching out, giving false readings, leading people astray. Is the Earth's magnetic field weakening, becoming unstable, preparing to flip? This is a cornerstone of many Nibiru theories, and the animals, they say animals sense things we humans, in our civilized disconnect, no longer can. Mass strandings of whales and dolphins on beaches worldwide, as if their internal navigation systems are scrambled. Birds migrating at the wrong times, in the wrong directions, sometimes flying en masse into buildings or the ground. Bees and other insects disappearing in alarming numbers? Are they reacting to subtle shifts in the Earth's magnetosphere, to gravitational anomalies precursors to Nibiru's arrival? The ancient mariners, the indigenous cultures, they knew. Trust the animals. What are they desperately trying to tell us now in their silent, panicked language of instinct and the prophecies? The ancient warnings, echoing down through millennia. The book of Revelation in the Christian Bible, with its terrifying imagery of wormwood, a star falling from heaven, poisoning the waters and bringing destruction. Nostradamus, the famed French seer, with his cryptic, chilling quatrains predicting fire from the sky, great famines, and global upheaval. The Hopi Blue Star Kachina prophecy, foretelling the arrival of a celestial being that will herald the end of the fourth world and the purification of Earth. The Mayan long count calendar, whose end on December 21, 2012, sparked global fear of an impending apocalypse, often linked directly to Nibiru's return. Are these just old stories, poetic metaphors, primitive superstitions born of ignorance, or are they a desperate, encoded message from our distant ancestors, perhaps survivors of previous Nibiru-induced cataclysms, a warning finally being decoded as the celestial destroyer draws near once more? Are we unknowingly living through the very end times they so vividly and terrifyingly foretold? What about the deafening, almost aggressive silence from official sources, from governments, from NASA? They have eyes on the entire sky, don't they? Hubble, the James Webb Space Telescope, countless reconnaissance satellites, powerful ground-based observatories. So where are their warnings? Where's the urgent public briefing, the global emergency plan? Proponents of the Nibiru theory say it's not silence, it's an active, insidious, globally coordinated cover-up, data deliberately scrubbed from public servers, images from space telescopes digitally altered, airbrushed to remove any trace of the intruder. Scientists who stumble upon the truth are threatened, bribed, professionally discredited, or worse, silenced permanently. A conspiracy of unimaginable proportions, orchestrated by a shadowy global elite, a hidden hand, to keep you docile, to keep you consuming, to keep you calm, while they make their own clandestine preparations in secret, underground cities. Is the very lack of official, verifiable evidence the most damning evidence of all? What are they not telling us? And why? All right, let's confront the elephant in the room. If Nibiru is real, if it's this unstoppable planet killer on a collision course with destiny, why does it keep missing its apocalyptic appointments? This is where the story gets complicated, to say the least. Or, for the hardened skeptics, this is precisely where the entire elaborate narrative demonstrably falls apart. But for the true believers, for those deeply invested in the Nibiru prophecy, each failed date is not an ending, but merely another layer of the unfolding mystery. Another test of faith. May 27, 2003. This was the first major, widely publicized D-Day for Nibiru, or Planet X as Nancy Lieder initially called it. The Zetas, her alleged alien communicators, gave the date. The early internet buzzed with frantic energy. Some believers sold their homes, quit their jobs, moved to supposedly safe locations. The day came, the day went. The world awoke on May 28th, completely unchanged. Lieder's explanation? It was a white lie, a deliberate misdirection to fool the evil elite who were supposedly planning to use the real date to impose martial law or harm believers. Really? A strategic masterstroke of deception? Or a rather convenient post hoc excuse to salvage credibility in the face of abject failure? Then came the big one, December 21st, 2012, the Mayan apocalypse. This date transcended the niche Nibiru community and went mainstream, fueled by Hollywood blockbusters and widespread media hype. Nibiru was often cast as the star player in this predicted doomsday scenario, the celestial agent of the Mayan calendar's end. People panicked. Survival shelters were built. Preppers stockpiled supplies. The day arrived pregnant with global anxiety. The sun rose. The sun set. The world just kept spinning. Civilization stubbornly refused to collapse. Was the Mayan calendar simply misunderstood by modern interpreters, merely marking the end of one cycle and the beginning of another, as many scholars had argued all along? Or was Nibiru somehow delayed? Or did something, some unknown force, intervene at the last possible second to save humanity? But the parade of failed predictions didn't stop there. The goalposts, it seemed, were on well-oiled wheels. Comet Ison, a much-anticipated sun grazer, arrived in 2013. "This is it," many in the Nibiru community cried. Nibiru disguised as a comet, or perhaps a harbinger, a scout ship. Ison, however, unceremoniously disintegrated as it passed the sun. Oops, next came the blood moon tetrads of 2014 and 2015, a series of 4 consecutive lunar eclipses, all falling on Jewish feast days. Surely these were the undeniable signs from the heavens, fulfilling biblical prophecies of the end times. Apocalyptic sermons were preached, urgent warnings issued. Still, Earth remained stubbornly intact. Then, in September 2017, author and numerologist David Meade gained considerable media traction by predicting Nibiru, which he called Planet X, would become visible. Based on his interpretations of biblical codes and planetary alignments, heralding the start of the tribulation. Again, the date passed. The skies remained Nibiru-free. So what gives? How does a theory survive so many direct hits to its credibility? Each failed date, rather than disproving the core belief, brings forth a flurry of new explanations from within the community. The complex gravitational calculations were slightly off by a few years or even decades. The Zetas, or other channeled entities, recalibrated their predictions based on new information. The global cover-up got even more sophisticated, deploying advanced cloaking technology or atmospheric manipulation to hide Nibiru's approach. Perhaps divine intervention, or the actions of benevolent extraterrestrials, postponed the judgment to give humanity more time to prepare or repent. Or maybe, just maybe, the threat is so complex, its arrival so governed by cosmic laws beyond our current comprehension, that human attempts to pinpoint its exact timing are inherently futile, even arrogant. Does each missed date definitively disprove Nibiru? Or, for the faithful, does it just prove how little we truly understand the vast, intricate forces at play? Or how desperate and how powerful the alleged cover-up truly is? The goalposts shift, the dates are revised, but for the true believers, the game is never over. The fear and the fervent hope for ultimate validation remains, perhaps even stronger after each test. Why the persistent silence from every government on Earth? Why the coordinated ridicule from the mainstream media whenever Nibiru is mentioned? If this planet killer is truly out there, bearing down on us, the answer, according to proponents, is as simple as it is terrifying: a cover-up. Not just any cover-up. We're talking about the biggest, most audacious, most globally coordinated conspiracy in the entirety of human history. A conspiracy so vast, so deeply entrenched, it makes all other alleged plots pale in comparison. But who would orchestrate such a monumental deception? And for what conceivable diabolical purpose? The who, they say, is the global elite, the shadowy figures who really pull the strings. The shadow government, the deep state, the 1% of the 1%. The names vary: the Illuminati, the Bilderberg Group, the Council on Foreign Relations, ancient banking dynasties, top military brass from every major power, media moguls who control the flow of information. NASA, in this narrative, isn't an agency of scientific exploration for the benefit of humanity. It's a sophisticated tracking station monitoring Nibiru's approach for them, for the chosen few. They know. They've always known, perhaps for generations. And they're not telling you. Because you, in their eyes, are expendable. Why this colossal, unconscionable deception? Reason number 1, the most commonly cited, to prevent mass panic and the complete, immediate breakdown of societal order. Imagine the moment billions of people simultaneously realize their world is about to end, that there's no escape. Chaos beyond imagining, riots in every city. The collapse of global financial markets in seconds. Essential services, power, Water, food distribution, law enforcement would cease to function. Civilization would devour itself before Nibiru even arrived. So, the elite feed us distractions. Bread and circuses for the digital age. Keep us working our meaningless jobs, consuming endless entertainment, arguing about trivialities, utterly oblivious to the cosmic doom gathering overhead. Ignorance is bliss, they whisper from their secure enclaves, as they finalize their own meticulous escape plans. Reason number 2, even more sinister, elite survival and the dawn of a new world order. Their world order. While you're worrying about your mortgage, your job security, your next social media post, they're allegedly building, and have been for decades, a network of DUMBS, deep underground military bases. These aren't just crude bunkers. They're luxurious, self-sustaining subterranean arks, buried miles beneath geologically stable mountains in remote, undisclosed locations across the globe. Stocked with decades worth of food, water, advanced technology, preserved knowledge, curated DNA from selected species, perhaps even selected humans, ready to allow the chosen few, the global architects of this deception and their families, to ride out the cataclysm in comfort and safety. To emerge onto a cleansed, depopulated planet, free to rebuild civilization in their own image without the messy interference of the ignorant masses. Is your government truly protecting you? Or are they merely stage managing your demise while ensuring the survival of their lineage, their power structure? How do they maintain such an airtight conspiracy on a global scale? Through an iron grip on money, on power, on information, and through the ruthless application of fear. Scientists or astronomers who get too close to the truth, who discover irrefutable evidence of Nibiru and consider going public, they are allegedly discredited through smear campaigns, their careers ruined, threatened into silence, bought off with lucrative grants for safer research. Or, in the darkest corners of this theory, they meet with mysterious accidents, untimely illnesses, or simply disappear. Data from crucial observatories, especially those in the southern hemisphere, where Nibiru is sometimes claimed to be first visible due to its orbital inclination, it's immediately classified at the highest levels, digitally erased, or completely erased before any independent researchers can analyze it. Whistleblowers, brave souls, or elaborate hoaxes periodically emerge online, anonymous figures claiming to be disgruntled ex-NASA employees, disillusioned military personnel with top-secret clearances, or academics who stumbled upon the forbidden knowledge. They leak cryptic documents, blurry photographs, desperate, often unverifiable warnings. Are they genuine heroes? Modern-day Cassandras trying to break the code of silence before it's too late? Or are they sophisticated disinformation agents, designed to muddy the waters and discredit genuine inquiry? The official narrative, believers insist, is a carefully constructed, constantly reinforced lie. The truth, they say, is out there, but it's being actively hunted, suppressed by the most powerful forces on Earth. Now let's turn the microphone over to the other side. The sober voices of reason, the guardians of established knowledge, the scientists, the astronomers, NASA. What do they say about this alleged planet of doom, this Nibiru that haunts the digital ether? Their answer is consistently blunt, unequivocally clear, and unwavering. Nibiru, as described in these cataclysmic theories, is a myth, a hoax, a figment of overactive imaginations, amplified by the internet. There is, they state emphatically, no evidence for its existence. But is their certainty entirely justified? Or is their narrative, too, part of a larger, more complex script? Argument number 1 from the scientific community. You simply can't hide a planet of that alleged size and influence. If Nibiru, a massive body several times the size of Earth, or even a small brown dwarf, were truly inbound on a 3,600-year orbit that brought it into the inner solar system, it wouldn't be a subtle secret, whispered about in shadowy forums. It would be, for months, if not years leading up to any close approach, one of the brightest objects in the night sky, easily visible to everyone on Earth with the naked eye. Its gravitational influence would be colossal. yanking on Mars, on Earth, on Venus, on Jupiter, throwing their precisely calculated orbits into detectable chaos. The orbits of asteroids and comets would be wildly perturbed. Amateur astronomers, a global network of thousands of skilled observers, many with telescopes rivaling professional equipment, would be independently tracking it, photographing it, screaming from the virtual rooftops. Are they all blind? Are they all incompetent? Or are they all somehow in on this colossal conspiracy of silence? NASA's official line, echoed by virtually every reputable astronomical institution worldwide, is zero credible, verifiable evidence supports the Nibiru cataclysm theory. Dr. David Morrison, a former senior scientist at NASA's Astrobiology Institute, became something of an unofficial Nibiru debunker, in chief spending years patiently and publicly explaining basic physics and astronomical observations. He repeatedly stated, if Nibiru were out there on a trajectory to affect Earth, we would have seen it long ago. It's not subtle. Modern, powerful, all-sky surveys like Wide Field Infrared Survey Explorer, which mapped the entire sky in infrared light, ideal for detecting dim, cool objects like brown dwarfs, and PAN-STARRS, Panoramic Survey Telescope and Rapid Response System, in Hawaii, are specifically designed to detect faint and distant objects within our solar system and beyond. These surveys have catalogued hundreds of thousands of new celestial bodies, some incredibly far out in the Oort cloud. Yet none of these extensive, highly sensitive searches have found any object matching the description or predicted trajectory of the mythical Nibiru. Not a blip, not a whisper. Is it truly not there? Or are these sophisticated surveys somehow programmed to overlook or automatically delete certain anomalous signatures, as some proponents claim? What about that infamous IRSS, Infrared Astronomical Satellite data from back in 1983? This is a cornerstone for many Nibiru believers, the moment they claim NASA did discover Planet X and then promptly covered it up. Scientists explain that IRSS did indeed detect many new infrared sources, and there was some initial excitement about a few unidentified objects. However, further analysis and follow-up observations quickly showed these to be distant, ultraluminous infrared galaxies, dense interstellar dust clouds known as infrared cirrus, or newly forming stars in distant nebulae. Absolutely not a rogue planet or brown dwarf within our solar system on a collision course. A simple case of initial misidentification, later corrected through the normal scientific process. Or was it a Freudian slip from NASA? A fleeting glimpse of the terrible truth before the official gag order came down, and the persistent claim that Nibiru is only visible from the South Pole or from Antarctica, making it harder for most of the world's population to see. Astronomers counter that this makes no astronomical sense. Earth spins on its axis daily and orbits the Sun annually. Any celestial object approaching the inner solar system, regardless of its orbital inclination, would eventually be visible from various latitudes in both the northern and southern hemispheres over time. It couldn't remain perpetually hidden from one entire half of the globe if it were truly drawing near. Unless, of course, its approach path is so unusual, so alien, so deliberately cloaked that it defies our currently understood laws of physics and celestial mechanics. The scientific verdict from virtually every corner of the established astronomical world is in case closed, no Nibiru. But for millions, the case remains defiantly, passionately wide open. Is science telling the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Or just the carefully curated truth it's allowed or instructed to tell? The conspicuous absence of evidence, for some, is it's perceived as powerful evidence of a damn good, terrifyingly effective cover-up. So, if the science is so overwhelmingly clear, if the predicted doomsday dates keep failing with monotonous regularity, why does Nibiru refuse to die? Why does this phantom planet, this celestial harbinger of doom, still haunt our collective nightmares, our digital landscape, with such remarkable unyielding tenacity? The answer, perhaps, isn't found by gazing through telescopes at the distant stars. Perhaps it's found by looking inward, deep within the complexities of the human psyche, our societies, and our turbulent modern age. Mistrust. We live in an age of profound, corrosive, and often justified, broken trust. Governments lie, caught in deceptions both petty and grand. Institutions fail repeatedly. Corporations prioritize profit over people. Experts are often wrong or perceived as biased. So when they, the authorities, the scientists, the media, collectively and emphatically say Nibiru isn't real, for some that very denial becomes the most compelling proof that it is. Secret knowledge, the feeling of being privy to a truth hidden from the sheeple, is an intoxicating elixir. Believing you know the terrifying, world-altering truth while the masses slumber in blissful ignorance, that can feel like a form of power, a sense of control in a world that often feels overwhelmingly out of control. Fear. The world is a complex, often frightening place. War, terrorism, climate change, pandemics, economic instability, social upheaval. Nibiru, in its terrifying grandeur, offers a single, grand, almost unifying explanation for it all: a cosmic scapegoat. It's almost psychologically easier to face a single, external, non-human threat like a rogue planet than to grapple with the messy, multifaceted, often intractable human-made problems that we collectively refuse or are unable to solve. And online, you're no longer alone in your fears or beliefs. Echo chambers proliferate. Digital communities of fear, of hope, of shared conviction spring up around these theories, validating each other's anxieties, reinforcing the narrative, fighting the good fight against the perceived ignorance of the mainstream and the alleged malevolence of the powers that be. It's a powerful sense of belonging. And let's be brutally honest, it's a hell of a story, isn't it? Ancient astronauts descending from the heavens, lost civilizations possessing forgotten technologies, cosmic cycles of destruction and rebirth, encoded in myth and prophecy. A hidden planet home to our creators, or perhaps our ultimate destroyers, returning to judge or redeem us. It taps into our deepest archetypal myths, our oldest, most primal fears of annihilation, our innate human yearning for something more, something bigger, something more meaningful than our often mundane day-to-day lives, even if that something bigger is utterly terrifying. It gives a sense of cosmic drama to human existence. Nibiru. Is it a mass delusion, a symptom of our anxious, information-saturated times? A sophisticated psychological operation, a psyop designed to distract or to instill fear for reasons unknown? A modern folktale, spontaneously generated and endlessly mutated by the global hive mind of the internet? Or is it, against all odds, against all official denials, the ultimate inconvenient truth, a celestial sword of Damocles still waiting for its devastating, earth-shattering curtain call? Science, in its official capacity, says a resounding no. The internet, in its chaotic, multifaceted voice, screams a defiant yes. The Purple Files? We present the whispers, the theories, the evidence, the claims and counterclaims. We delve into the shadows where others fear to tread. You, the viewer, must ultimately decide what to believe. But whatever you conclude, keep watching the skies, keep questioning the narratives, and keep searching for your own truth. Because the truth, whatever it may be, is out there. Or is it already here, hidden in plain sight, just waiting for us to finally open our eyes and see? If you've enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the Purple Files. Drop us a comment down below and tell us what videos you'd like to see. Thanks for watching.